Hey guys, it's Anissa and Josh. So here's our little lesson. It's about creationism and evolution.
So what is creationism? Creationism is the doctrine that all matter and all things were created substantially as they now exist by an all-powerful creator and not gradually evolved or developed. There are two types of creationism, Old Earth and New Earth creationism. Old Earth accepts the evidence for an ancient Earth, but still believe that life was specially created by God. New Earth claims a literal interpretation of the Bible as a basis for their beliefs. They believe that Earth is 6,000 to 10,000 years old, that life was created in 6 literal days, that death and decay came as a result of Adam and Eve's fall, and that geology must be interpreted in terms of Noah's flood.
Alright, so here's a little timeline of the creation of the earth based on the book of Genesis in the Bible. On day 1, God made light. On day 2, he separated water from the sky. On the 3rd day, he made land and seas and plants. On the 4th, he made the sun, the moon, and the stars. On the 5th, he made all living sea and sky creatures. On the 6th, he made more animals, including mammals and the first humans. And on the 7th day, God rested. Most creationists believe in the biblical belief that the earth was created around 4000 BC, which would make the earth about 6,000 years old. They also believe in Noah's Ark, which, according to creationists, was about 4,300 years ago, and the Grand Canyon was created by this flood.
They also believe in the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve. They believe that Adam lived about 930 years, and that women were made from Adam's rib. Thus, all women are descendants of Adam. They also believe that Adam and Eve lived in harmony with dinosaurs and other animals, and that when they left the Garden of Eden, God put a curse on them so that humans and animals no longer lived in harmony.
Alright, so most creationists believe in some type of evolution which is called macroevolution, and this is a major evolutionary transition from one type of organism to another occurring at the level of the species and higher taxa. So now we're going to go over to the evolution side of this. So what exactly is evolution? It is the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed by transitioning from simple forms to complex. And evolution technically isn't a fact, it's a theory. And a theory is a coherent group of tested general propositions commonly regarded as correct that can be used as principles of explanation and prediction for a class of phenomena. And even though theories aren't technically facts, they're far from guesses. They're scientifically tested and supported.
So here we have the tree of evolution, which was developed by Darwin, and it had evolved into the scientific tree of life, which you see here. Now we have a compare and contrast chart of evolution and creationism. In evolution, it was believed that the sun was created before the earth, dry land before the sea, stars before the earth, sea creatures before land plants, and land animals before trees. Creationists believe the exact opposite. So now we have some misconceptions of creationism. Some people believe that creationists are out to prove the Bible, don't believe in dinosaurs, are not qualified scientists, and reject the idea of survival of the fittest, and are unwilling to change their ideas in the face of new evidence.
Alright, and there are also some misconceptions of evolution. Those are that evolution is always slow, that humans came directly from monkeys, that there is no evidence for evolution, that natural selection and evolution are the same thing, and that individual life forms evolved during a single lifespan. Alright, so now we have two videos from each side, the evolutionary side and the creationism side. And the first one we have is from Bill Nye, and he's on the side of only teaching evolution in schools. So let's watch this video.
Denial of evolution is unique to the United States. I mean, we are the world's most advanced technological, so I mean, you could say Japan, but generally the United States is where most of the innovation still happens. People still move to the United States. And that's largely because of the intellectual capital we have, the general understanding of science. When you have a portion of the population that doesn't believe in that, it holds everybody back, really. Evolution is the fundamental idea in all of life science, in all of biology. It's very much analogous to trying to do geology without believing in tectonic plates. you're just not going to get the right answer. Your whole world is just going to be a mystery instead of an exciting place. As my old professor Carl Sagan said, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. So once in a while I get people that really, or that claim they don't believe in evolution. And my response generally is, oh, why not? Really, why not? Your world just becomes fantastically complicated when you don't believe in evolution. I mean, here are these ancient dinosaur bones or fossils. Here is radioactivity. Here are distant stars that are just like our star, but that are at a different point in their life cycle. The idea of deep time, of this billions of years, explains so much of the world around us. If you try to ignore that, your worldview just becomes crazy. It's just untenable, self-inconsistent. And I say to the grown-ups, if you want to deny evolution and live in your world that's completely inconsistent with everything we observe in the universe, that's fine. But don't make your kids do it, because we need them. We need scientifically literate voters and taxpayers for the future. We need people that can, we need engineers that can build stuff, solve problems. It's just really a hard thing. It's really a hard thing. You know, in another couple centuries, that worldview, I'm sure, will be, it just won't exist. There's no evidence for it. So.
Okay, the next video we have is a response from the Creation Museum that presents an account of the origins of the universe based on the book of Genesis and the Bible.
The first point that Bill Nye makes is that denial of evolution is unique to the United States. I'm sure he knows better than that. After all, not only is evolution criticized widely in the United States by at least 40% of its citizens, but evolution is believed to be false in the Muslim world. Creationism is certainly taught in South Africa, India, South Korea, Brazil. Smaller factions of creationists probably are found in Japan, Israel, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada.
Bill Nye implies in his video that parents and other adults are doing a great disservice to children by teaching them about biblical creation. Well, you might be interested to know that I also teach my young daughter about evolution, and I know many other Christian parents who do the same. Children should be exposed to both ideas concerning our past. Being a good scientist and a mom, I want my daughter to be educated about evolution so that she can see the inherent problems with it. For example, the complete lack of a genetic mechanism that allows organisms to gain genetic information to go from simple to complex over time.
Bill Nye also makes the comment that the world becomes fantastically complicated if one believes in creation. I would argue the world becomes fantastically complicated if one believes in evolution. You see, in evolution, you have to look at that hummingbird feeding at your feeder and assume that all of its parts have somehow come together by random purposeless change combined with natural selection, which is nothing more than differential reproduction.
We need to understand in the video that Bill Nye is confusing observational science with historical science. Observational science is what I call here and now science. It gives us inventions and technology like computers and vaccines. We can observe it, test it, and repeat it. Historical science deals with the past, and both evolution and creation fall into that category. We cannot test, observe, or repeat them. Yes, we do see fossils and distant stars, but their history of how they got here really depends on our worldview. Do we start with man's ideas about the past, who wasn't here during the supposed billions of years of Earth history, or do we start with the Bible, the written revelation of the eyewitness account of the eternal God who created it all? Rather than being inconsistent, as Bill Nye states, observational science confirms the literal history and Genesis.
The second point that Bill makes in his video is that evolution is fundamental to all life science, that life science can't be practiced without it. This is certainly not the case. The evolutionist Adam Wilkins, publishing in Bioessays, Volume 22, number 12, says as follows: while the great majority of biologists would probably agree with Theodosius Dobzhansky that nothing in biology makes sense without evolution, Yet, he said, most can conduct their work quite happily without particular reference to evolutionary ideas. He concluded that evolution would appear to be an indispensable and unifying idea, and at the same time, a highly superfluous one.
Alright, so we hope you guys enjoyed those two videos, and when we come back from break, Robin is going to have an activity for us. So have a good break, and we'll see you when we come back.